Hello and welcome to my review of the Warhammer Underworlds Direchasm, the Dread Pageant. The only way to get hold of this warband right now is through the Direchasm box set, which will set you back £50, but it does include the Lumineth Realm Lords Myari's Purifiers warband, and typically these warbands cost £25 each. So you're getting all the cards as well, and you're getting the board and all of the tokens. So following on from the review of Myari's Purifiers, we will take a look at each of these models individually. We'll do some comparisons with Myari's Purifiers, because I don't own any other Slaanesh models, and the usual size comparisons. We'll take a look at the pack of cards that are specific to the warband. Then we'll go through their rules for use in Age of Sigmar. Now, I don't own the new Slaanesh Codex, but thankfully Games Workshop have the War Scroll up on their web store, and I really do wish that they did this more often. If you have the Warhammer Age of Sigmar, their War Scroll is also on there for free. So without further ado, let's have a look at these miniatures up close and personal, and we'll start off with, I want to say, the leader, Vasilak inspired, right here. This is in they're not black plastic, it's dark blue, very dark blue. I would have preferred them to be in like a purple. I mean, I can't see why they shouldn't have done them in purple. That would have been great, wouldn't it? Purple or pink, but yeah, specifically purple. This is a dark blue, very, very dark, very navy coloured. But yeah, Vasilak, it's got this nice spear and this big headdress. Will go very well with the rest of your Slaanesh heavy armoured, and a bit of a scenic base with some, I think, water effect on there. Then you have this creature called Slaanesh inspired. Very Slaanesh looking miniature with a big claw and some horns and a huge blade. One of the largest models in the warbands out there. It's got this big Terminator base. Loads of detail on there with stonework and bricks. Then we have Hadzu inspired, which is a hunter. Got a small mini on a 25mm base. I like the scenic base though. Stood on, I think, some Lumineth ruins there. No string for the bow, but quiver is quite nice. I think the quiver's even got a tongue on it coming out of it. Interesting mask as well. And then we have the final model, Glisset inspired. I want to call her Gillette inspired. But yeah, a bit of detail here. You do have a boob that's covered by like a strap, and a little belly button, and got these baggy kind of trousers. Stood on some kind of ruin as well, with this long spear. It's just a pole arm, isn't it? But this model's cool, really like this one, and again with some kind of strange mask going on. So yeah, that's the Dread Pageant. How do they measure up against Myari's Purifiers? Well, the Purifiers are all tall models, mainly because of their scenic bases. They're all perched on these tall rocks, which give them a lot of height compared to them, and again, they're on these 32mm bases, whereas you're getting two models in the Dread Pageant on the smaller 25mm. You know, balanced slightly with Slaanesh on the 40mm, but yeah, that's how they stand up next to them all. But you know, the navy and the white plastic, a big contrast. It's going to be easy for you to get into a game quickly and pick out your models in the game. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to give you any size comparisons with other Slaanesh models, because I don't collect Slaanesh, but I can at least show you how they compare next to 40k models. So I've got a Space Marine, and just look how tall Vasilak is compared to a normal Space Marine. Even with their scenic bases, he is absolutely huge. like a foot or more taller than a normal Space Marine. Next to a Primaris, he is taller than a Primaris. This model of Vasilic reminds me a lot like the Crimson Court model. He's actually a little bit taller than the Crimson Court model, just a little bit, but still very tall models in these Warband sets. Then Slake Slash, compared to a Primaris, fair bit bigger. Nothing stopping you from using these in your Slaanesh Demon's Army. There's some beasts. And then these two models, I think they are, I mean, this one's on a bit of a scenic base, but similar height to a Space Marine, a little bit taller, but again, because of the scenic base. And this one, a little bit taller as well, but again, on that scenic base. If we dropped it down a bit, should be a little bit shorter, but there we go. So yeah, a huge size variety in this warband. You've got the extremely tall leader, you've got this creature which is still pretty big, and then you've got these shorter humanoid size figures. Okay, then let's have a look at the cards that are included in the set. So this is the Dread Pageant main card, and it's very, very straightforward and quick to identify which are the Slaanesh cards, because obviously you've got pictures of them there, and then in the top right you've got the Slaanesh icon. So this is what you'll receive. You've got Vasilic inspired, Glisset inspired, Hadzu inspired, and Slake Slash inspired. You've got Beautiful Deaths, Cavalcade of Madness, Endless Revel, Excess of Avidity, Excess of Carnality, Excess of Gluttony, Excess of Indolency, Excess of Paramountcy, Excess of Vainglory, Godseekers, Grisly Tableau, Scintillating Sadism, Bonded Bodyguard, Cruel Pangs, Dark Desires, Deadly Embrace, Enervating Perfume, Fueled by Sensation, Lure of Slaanesh, Rush of Sensation, Shared Pain, Vicious Barbs, Cruel Volley, Dance Without End, Distracting Ostentation, Mark of the Dark Prince, Sadistic Goad, Sickening Resilience, Soporific Musk, Strength from Pain, Swift Desire, and Sword Shatterer. So there only remains one more thing for me to go through for the Dread Pageant, and that is their rules. As I mentioned before, you can find them either on Games Workshop's web store or on the Age of Sigmar app for free. So the Dread Pageant War Scroll, there's no battlefield role for them. They are unique. The unit size is 4, and they will set you back 120 points. So already they're almost half the point cost of my Ari's Purifiers. Their stat line reads movement of 6 inches, save of 5+, bravery 7, and 1 wound. So they're pretty weak in that regard. The Dread Pageant is a named unit that has 4 models. Vasilic the Gifted is armed with a Dread Harpoon and Painbringer Shield. Slake Slash is armed with a Crushing Claw and Gilded Weapon. Glisset is armed with a Sick Blade Glaive, and Hadzu is armed with a Blissbarb Bow. So the Blissbarb Bow is a missile weapon. It's an 18-inch range, 2 attacks, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, rend -1, and damage of 1. That's all right. Melee weapons: Crushing Blow and Gilded Weapon, range 1 inch, 4 attacks, 4+ to hit, 3+ to wound, -2 to rend, and a damage of 2. That's quite nice. Sick Blade Glaive, range of 1 inch, 3 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, -1 rend, and damage of 1. That's all right. Dread Harpoon, it's a 1 inch range, 4 attacks, 2+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend -1, and a damage of D3. Probably the best out of those. Vasilic, add 2 to Vasilic's wound characteristic. So now he's got 3 wounds. And also Slake Slash, add 2 to Slake Slash's wound characteristic. So again, you've got 3 wounds each, that's 6, plus the 2 for the other characters. That's 8. Again, still doesn't beat the 11 for the Purifiers. Abilities: Art of the Myrmidesh. You can roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to Vasilic. On a 4+, that wound or mortal wound is negated. So that's nice. It's kind of got like a feel no pain. It's 50-50 chance of negating the wound. Deadliest Procession. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made by this unit is 6, that attack inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any normal damage. Very nice. So you're getting hits on 6s and you're getting mortal wounds, a bit like the Sun Metal weapon rule in a way. Keywords: Chaos, Mortal, Slaanesh and Dread Pageant. So there you go. They're not the best, you know, 8 wounds there. If they don't have magic, they don't have many range weapons other than the bow. You're going to have to get them in close as well. Maybe you can buff them with other units from Slaanesh, but against a unit with high armor and missile weapons, they're going to be a bit vulnerable. But what do you guys think of the Dread Pageant? Please do put your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. Death to the False Emperor.